instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Dangerous Podcast, where we talk all things paranormal. I am Ken James, and this is Jason McKittrick.
Hey, folks.
And if we can haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we are talking about it. And tonight, we are covering one of the biggest hauntings and/or
Paranormal event?
I was going to say hoaxes of all time, the Bell Witch haunting. Now, gang, hats off to the community for keeping this going forever. But in reality, we're gonna dig deep into this alleged haunting.
So you're going straight hoax right from the beginning,
dude. I don't have much. I don't have much faith in this. And
my eyes are here. Okay.
Yeah, I know your eyes are there, but there's the face behind you.
That's every episode.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I'm a Philly slut, and what can I do? But we're gonna pull some facts from the web, like we do, and we're gonna see if we can get to the bottom of what's going on here. We're
gonna go fast and loose with the Bell Witch.
Fast and loose with the Bell Witch. We're gonna see if we can figure out what was going on over there.
We're gonna crack it wide open here in my basement from hundreds of miles away.
Here we are in Drexel Hill, figuring out all the mysteries that need figuring out.
Yeah, because the truth is out there.
The truth is out there. We're on our second 10% slushy drink and other things, but you know what? You want me to start this off? You want me to take this a little bit here?
It's up to you, man. If you want to do it or I can do it.
All right, guys. So here's what we'll do. I'll start off with a little bit of the backstory here. The Bell Witch, or the Bell Witch haunting, is a legend from southern United States folklore, centered on the 19th century Bell family of northwest Robertson County, Tennessee. Farmer John Bell Sr. resided with his family along with the Red River in the area currently near the town of Adams. According to legend, from 1817 to 1821, his family and the local area came under attack by a mostly invisible entity that was able to speak, affect the physical environment, and shapeshift.
The shapeshifters.
Yeah, right. They'll get you every time. Some accounts record the spirit also to have been clairvoyant and capable of crossing long distances with superhuman speed and/or having the ability to be in more than one place at a time. In 1894, newspaper editor Martin V. Ingram published his authenticated history of the Bell Witch. The book is widely regarded as the first full-length record of the legend and a primary source of subsequent treatments. The individuals recorded in the work were known historical personalities. In modern times, some skeptics have regarded Ingram's efforts as a work of historical fiction or fraud, which I tend to agree with. Other researchers consider Ingram's work a nascent folklore study and an accurate reflection of belief in the region during the 19th century. While not a fundamental element of the original record legend, the Bell Witch Cave in the 20th century became a source of continuing interest, belief, and generation of lore. Contemporary artistic interpretations, such as in the film and music, have expanded the reach of the legend beyond the regional confines of the southern United States. So, right off the bat, this is a big story.
It's a big story, and it had a lot of interpretations, lots of things surrounding it. It's the big story in the area. I mean, hell, even one of our presidents, Andrew Jackson, is supposed to have been involved in the happenings.
Well, they had that letdown of a movie, The Bell Witch Haunting, which was just so bad.
The smacking scene, I laughed so hard I almost threw up.
Yeah.
When her face is like, psh, psh,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, is this real?
Yeah, it was terrible. It was such a letdown in how they want to do it, and they try to do like it's actually true crime and all this stuff, but it was laughable. And to waste the performance
Donald Sutherland.
of Donald Sutherland in that movie.
It's true. It's bad. Well, shall I take us through some of the legend?
Please, your reading will be way better than mine today.
Okay, so in the book that you just mentioned, the Authenticated History of the Bell Witch by Martin Ingram, published that this poltergeist, which they're kind of going with now, her name was Kate.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
After the entity claimed that at one point to be Old Kate Batts Witch. Okay, not Billy Batts.
Yeah, no, Kate Batts.
Yeah. And continued to respond favorably to the name. The physical activity centered on the Bell's youngest daughter, Betsy, she was the one, and her father, and Kate expressed particular displeasure when Betsy became engaged to a local named Joshua Gardner.
Old Josh.
She's like a matchmaker, well, no. She's like a matchmaker, but like through the veil. I don't know. So the haunting began.
She can reach out into the other side.
Yeah.
And like match up those people who married ghosts or married the Eiffel Tower and things of that nature.
Yes.
She's one of those. Okay,
Yes.
just making sure. She has a hand. Okay.
She does. She's good. She's good.
She's good. Yeah,
She's the
good.
best.
She's the best.
She can always find the bodies that are hanging.
I see a body swinging.
Yep. Yeah.
That was her, actually.
I
That's
see a
what it
body
was.
swinging.
Yeah. Well, that's the reincarnation of her.
I knew it. So the haunting began sometime in 1817 when John Bell witnessed the apparition of a strange creature resembling a dog. All right. Now I remember going back and looking into this years ago. It was like a dog body but a rabbit head.
Yeah.
Really
Yes.
weird.
Yeah, and those kind of ghosts or entities, whatever they are,
Elementals.
yeah, they're kind of big in some of the cooler hauntings, like
Yeah.
where you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What you fucking see?
Yeah, like
You
the pig with that Jody the
Yeah.
pig. Although
Yeah.
that story is also
Yeah,
nonsense.
exactly.
So Bell fired at the animal, but it disappeared. John's son, Drew Bell, approached an unknown bird perched on a fence that flew off and was of extraordinary size. Pterodactyl. The daughter, Betsy, observed a girl in a green dress swinging from the limb of an oak tree.
Cool. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that one.
Yeah. Dean, a person enslaved by the Bell family, fucking Bell family, reported being followed by a large black dog on evenings he visited his wife. Yikes.
Yeah.
Activity moved to the Bell household with knocking heard along the door and walls. The family heard sounds of gnawing on the beds. Gnawing. That's weird.
Like chewing
Yeah.
on the beds.
Yeah.
Oof.
That is very weird.
Yeah.
Invisible dogs fighting. So your apartment just you can't see it though.
I can't see King and Bruce. They go at it all the time, and I'm like, I hear them, and I'm like, where the fuck are they in the bed?
Yeah,
What
that
are
is
they-
that's odd.
It's odd. It's odd, but continue.
And chains along the floor.
I like that. That's classic.
That is very classic.
Yeah.
So about this time, John Bell began experiencing paralysis in his mouth. Couldn't do his job anymore.
Yeah. Excuse me.
not-
He's like, oh, that's a smart dad.
Sorry, I can't talk anymore.
Yeah.
That's actually, you know what? He just had it with his wife.
Yeah, he was
like,
just like-
yeah, poltergeist.
He wrote it down. Can't talk. Ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost? Question mark.
Yeah. So the phenomenon grew in intensity as sheets were pulled from beds when the children slept. Soon the entity pulled hair and scratched the children with particular emphasis on Betsy, who was slapped, pinched, and stuck with pins. Ghost pins.
Ghost pins. Rough stuff, gang. Rough stuff.
Yep. So the Bells turned to family friend James Johnston for help.
Good old Jimmy. Jimmy's there.
Jimmy J.
Johnson. Yeah.
After retiring for the evening at the Bell home, Johnston was awakened that night by the same phenomenon. That morning, he told Bell it was a, quote, spirit just like in the Bible.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Soon, word of the haunting spread with some traveling great distances to see the witch. The apparition began to speak out loud and was asked, "Who are you and what do you want?" And the voice answered feebly, "I am a spirit. I was once happy, but have been disturbed."
Who? How? What? Who?
The spirit offered diverse explanations of why it had appeared. Diverse.
Yeah.
Tying its origin to the disturbance of a Native American burial mound located on the property. Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Well, is that fact?
And sent Drew Bell and Bennett Porter on an unproductive search for buried treasure.
See, here's the thing. I love once that comes across the plate. You know, you and especially we're both like, wait, ancient Native American burial ground, like that automatically,
Treasure?
yeah, treasure too. Those two things immediately like go. All right, there might be something to this.
So with the emergence of full conversations, the spirit repeated word for word 2 sermons given 13 miles apart at the same time. The entity was well acquainted with biblical text and appeared to enjoy religious arguments.
Yeah.
As another amusement, the witch shared gossip about activities in other households and at times appeared to leave for brief moments to visit homes after an inquiry. So she was like, oh, you see Miss Johnson down the street?
Yeah.
Her ass has gotten fat, huh?
Yeah,
And they're
right.
like, whoa. Like, they're just like, oh, Miss Bell over here is talking some serious shit.
Yeah, she's like, it's like the Darcys down the street, cheating on each other. Kelly Darcy's a huge whore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this.
And
Ghost
she
is
stuck her
doing.
with ghost pens.
Yeah, right.
So John Johnston,
Johnny J.
John Johnson, but you can call him Vicky, a son of James, devised a test for the witch, something no one outside his family would know, asking the entity what his Dutch step-grandmother in North Carolina would say to the slaves if she thought they did something wrong. Wow.
I wonder what that was.
Well, the witch replied with his grandmother's accent, "Hut tut, what has happened now?"
Jesus Christ.
That's dark.
That's dark. The Bell Witch gets dark, apparently.
In another account, an Englishman stopped to visit and offered to investigate. On remarking on his family overseas, the witch suddenly began to mimic his English parents. Again, in the early morning, the witch woke him to voices of his parents, worried as they had heard his voice as well.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? That could be right there. That could just be kids being like, like, oh, you came to see,
Yeah.
like they're like, oh, chip,
Yeah, like Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, it could be.
Fish and chips, and then he's like, why are these kids, this
Yeah.
ghost is mine.
And then after he fell asleep, they ran in and just fucked him up.
Yeah.
And then before he could tell what was going on, they ran out of the room. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I was
Yeah.
accosted by the spirit.
Yeah, the spirit took me down.
It'll happen. The Englishman quickly left that morning and later wrote to the Bell family that the entity had visited his family in England. He apologized for his skepticism. All right. At times, the spirit displayed a form of kindness, especially towards Lucy, John Bell's wife,
Okay.
the most perfect woman to walk the earth. That's the witch said.
Yeah, well, that right there just gives you even more of a hint of, because John was poisoned and killed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway,
Yeah,
sorry.
she was like, you don't even deserve your wife.
Yeah.
And I'm not her, I swear.
I'm not your wife.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing your voice. I'm a ghost.
Yeah. So the witch would give Lucy fresh fruit, ghost fruit, and sing hymns to her and show John Bell Jr. a measure of respect. Her son. Where'd the fruit come from?
I think
Ghost fruit.
I think we already got to the bottom of
No,
what's going
I'm
on.
talking
here.
hypothetically
Yeah.
here.
Ghost fruit, where'd that come from?
Is there a ghost fruit tree? Is there a ghost supermarket? I want to go.
Yeah, I would love to go to the ghost supermarket. That'd be sick.
Right. So referring to John Bell Sr. as Old Jack, that's a cool name, the witch claims she intended to kill him and signaled this intention through curses, threats, and afflictions.
And there's no forensics, at this time.
No, it's just like it's whatever he said.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like, whatever.
Yeah, well,
whatever
Psalm 86 says, it's just
like,
whatever.
I'm going to kill this guy. Stop me. Do something about it, and then try to solve the mystery.
So the story climaxes, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
with the Bell patriarch being poisoned by the witch. Afterward, the entity interrupted the mourners by singing drinking songs.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope they were like those really cool, those bawdy tavern tunes. Yeah.
That's
Tankards of this kind of motion.
And this and that, and there's this
No
and there's that.
one drinks like Gaston. That whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Yep.
And they shoot people or whatever they do in that movie.
Yep.
In 1821, as a result of the witch's entreatment, Betsy Bell called off her engagement to Joshua Gardner. Subsequently, the entity told the family it was going to leave but return in 7 years in 1828. She's like, I'm tired of this. She's like, give me 7 years off. The witch returned on time to Lucy and her sons Richard and Joel with similar activities as before, but they chose not to encourage it, and the witch appeared to leave again. So she wanted like the attention. They were just like, just ignore it. And she's like, oh, this is no fun.
Yeah. This is stupid.
Yeah.
You guys are being dumb. I'm a witch. I'm a ghost.
Yep.
You're not gonna... I killed my husband.
Several accounts say that during his military career, old Trail of Tears Andrew Jackson was intrigued with the story, and his men were frightened away after traveling to investigate. Mm-hmm. This is not... They don't know this is actually true, though.
Yeah, well, this is the one that...
They can't go ask them.
This one's been echoed recently on multiple podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the new story.
No, it's been around for a long time.
Well, I'm saying, but this is the new one they're latching on to.
The Andrew Jackson one?
Yeah, the Andrew Jackson one and this is... These soldiers, actually, there's actual documents, and I've never heard any proof of actual documentation.
In an independent oral tradition recorded in the vicinity of Panola County, Mississippi.
Oral tradition, there you go. I'm just saying, this is, that like I was saying, there's no documents to prove the one thing.
Yeah, it's all handed down word of mouth, yeah.
Sure.
The witch was the ghost of an unpleasant overseer John Bell murdered in North Carolina. In this tradition, the spirit falls in love with the central character Mary, leading to her death. This account is reminiscent of vampire lore. The supernatural powers attributed to the Tennessee spirit have also been compared to that of jinn in mythology. In the manuscript attributed to Richard Williams Bell, he wrote that the spirit remained a mystery. Quote, whether it was witchery such as afflicted people in past centuries and the darker ages, whether some gifted fiend or hellish nature, practicing sorcery for selfish enjoyment, or some modern science akin to that of mesmerism, or some hobgoblin. There were no pumpkin bombs. Native to the wilds of the country, or a disembodied soul shut out from heaven, or an evil spirit like those Paul drove out of the man into the swine.
Yeah.
Setting them mad, or a demon let loose from hell, I am unable to decide, nor has anyone yet divined its nature or cause for appearing, and I trust this description of the monster in all forms and shapes, and of many tongues, will lead experts who may come with a wiser generation to a correct conclusion and satisfactory explanation. That's just a long way of saying, hey, there's a lot of explanations and we don't know which one's real.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... And that's... I love that. That we get that so often in so many things. And... like, it's just like, all right, we don't know, but I'm not allowed to say we don't know. Mm-hmm. So let me type up or write up some flowery shit.
Yep.
You know, to make people go, ugh. It's spin talking. It's spin talking.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm totally of the school of, like, you know, this is very reminiscent of like the Fox sisters in the that era. Mm-hmm. But, so let's go into a little bit of a skeptical evaluation. According to Ben Radford, the Bell Witch story is an important one for all paranormal researchers. It shows how easily legend and myth can be mistaken for fact and real events, and how easily the lines are blurred when some sources are not checked. Radford reminds readers that the burden of proof is not on the skeptic to disprove anything, but rather the proponents to prove the claims. Brian Dunn wrote that where there is no need to discuss the supposed paranormal activity until there was evidence that the story was true. Vague stories indicate that there was a witch in the area. All the significant facts of the story have been falsified, and the others come from a source of dubious credibility. Since no reliable documentation of any actual events exists, there's nothing worth looking into. Dunning concludes, I chalk up the Bell Witch as nothing more than one of many unsubstantial folk legends, vastly embellished and popularized by an opportunistic author of historical fiction. I tend to agree with him. Joe Nickel has written that many of those who knew Betsy suspected her of fraud, and the Bell Witch story sounds suspiciously like an example of the poltergeist faking syndrome, in which someone, typically a child, causes the mischief. Amy Falker, a researcher from Mississippi, version of the legend while affiliated with the University of Mississippi, has expressed the Bell Witch legend has other value. As a historian of collective memory, it matters very little to my research if hauntings are real or not. It does matter that people believe they are. As a result, they can help us understand the perspectives, in this case, of 19th and 20th century Americans, which is actually, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
I think that's the best point of all of it, because in reality, the other one too, most of this is unsubstantiated, quotation. It's based on like...
Well, it's a legend that was added on to, and allowed to be like passed by, like we said, word of mouth, a little tradition. Like it was passed around this area, and the legend just grew, and then it ended up just adding new facets over time going by, like the cave, for example. So there's a Ghost Adventures episode, of course, with the Bell Witch Cave, and there's this whole
one of the descendants of,
yes. Yeah. So it's a cave that may have been on their property at one point, right? And it's been associated with the haunting for a while, and there's like no like documents during the time or anything that like says that this was involved in the main haunting, but as years went on, they were like, oh no, this was like the witch's sanctuary, like her spirit lived in this cave. And then there's another legend that at one point young Betsy Bell and some of her friends had gone to explore the cave, and while they were there, one of the boys crawled into a hole and got stuck, and then a voice cried out, "I'll get him out," out of nowhere, and the boy felt hands grasping his feet, and he was pulled out of the hole. The entity, apparently visible, then gave the young explorers a lecture on reckless cave exploring.
So, give a PSA on...
Yeah. Not stabbing people with ghost pins and ripping people's hair out and slapping them.
I've turned a new leaf, boy stuck in cave. The more you know.
I guess. But apparently there's no, it didn't play any role in the actual original Bell Witch stories.
Right.
So, like, these cave adventures by the Bell children were created and written many years after the event.
Yeah.
And just as a little extra factoid here, the cave is privately owned today, and tours are given during the summer months and in October.
Of course.
Of course.
Cash cow.
Yep.
Cash cow. Yep. Well, like we could, we can keep going on with like the anecdotes, the anecdotal stories that we hear. Mm-hmm. But I remember we were driving somewhere in my car. My mom, lifelong paranormal enthusiast. Mm-hmm. She was telling me about the Bell Witch, and she was telling me this one particular story about this priest that came to help out, which it turns out was actually like in-law of someone that was there when you dig in. But it was like this priest was also a boxer.
Okay.
And like he squared up with the Bell Witch that was invisible.
Okay.
And you can find it. It's told differently, but I liked my mom's version better.
Okay.
Where like he did his best. He went 12 rounds with the Bell Witch, like boxing it. When scripture didn't work, he was like fighting this invisible ghost.
Wow.
And this is the first story.
Did he have holy hands?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Holes in his socks. Those were his Sunday socks, bro. But he ended up getting holy socks. And
no, I don't get it. Could you explain that?
Yeah. There's holes in the socks, so you call them holy, so you call them Sunday socks.
I don't get it.
Anyway, so this warrior priest, as it were, was there, and it actually turned out it was like just like some in-law that was.
Wait, was this the guy who had sex with a gorilla?
He might have.
Okay. Was he in the circus?
Yeah. Okay. Totally. But case in point, all the stuff that gets passed around, oral tradition has been told. Like the internet has found a way to like pigeonhole the content and like, oh, these are the most acceptable versions of these stories. And before the internet,
Yeah.
we were relying on, word of mouth, publication, and then like a random 1970s like documentary on some shit.
Yeah. And a diary found in a house
Yeah,
that
right.
nobody knew about before,
Yeah.
and it details the entire incident.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's on TV. It's got to be real."
Yeah. Yep. No, it's super interesting, and it kind of tells you, like, and I think people have said it a bunch of different ways, but like legends like this kind of tell us more about the people of the time, and
Yes.
that's their value. It's like,
Yes.
this is what these people believed were like actual threats, or
Yeah.
at least to some degree, some people at that time
Yeah.
believed them as threats.
And then
So-
other people considered it a spectacle, and they traveled
Yeah.
to like just stand outside of the house.
Yeah.
And like, I want to.
And where did it happen?
Yeah.
It's like, well, give me a nickel and I'll show you.
Yeah, and then you're like, you just watch. And like, I want to hear a ghost voice,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, someone.
She's here right now.
Yeah.
Where is she? Well, she's invisible.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah.
This is worth the travel. Mm-hmm. Worth the money. Worth the price
Then
of
what you
admission.
do is you get some kind of like witchy woman to be there, like a
Mm-hmm.
good witch, and be like, give us another nickel, and she'll make sure the ghost doesn't follow you home, because she does that sometimes.
Yeah. The Bell Witch has been known to follow you guys home.
Yeah, and it's 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 one of these things. And then I also heard this. I was also looking at this other thing where they're talking that they kind of like made like the comparison between this and like the Salem witch trials with the girls, like, oh, I'm being possessed kind of thing. Like maybe there was some kind of thing like that where it was like
Right.
kids were just like. It was kind of just like started out as mischief, but then they're like, oh, they're really taking this seriously, so they had to like buckle down.
Right.
That's kind of what happened. So
Well, like literally, from the reading, John Bell's wife hated him.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be with him, and she probably made it a funny game with the children.
Yeah.
To do this kind of stuff to drive John mad
yeah,
to the point where he started acting crazy in town,
yeah,
and then the spectacle starts. She lets it brew. The kids are playing along. The mom's like, Shh, keep doing it, keep doing it. And then eventually, like, the letter left by the ghost, the Bell Witch, about, I gave him some of the black stuff and that fixed him up good.
yeah. That fixed them up good.
Yeah. Like that whole thing, it's like, so you build a spectacle. It's. I think this is one of the earliest cases of domestic murder.
Yeah.
And also convincing people the whole time you do it through spectacle, because like I said, the Fox sisters.
Yeah.
At the time, the medium thing of this whole thing, spiritualism.
Yeah.
Was huge.
Yeah, and that's not a bad take, because John Bell apparently Sr. was not well liked by people. He's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
So take that. I mean, you can't really extrapolate much from that, but like maybe he was throwing hands when he got
Yeah.
home.
I'm sure.
And so they were like, well, we got to get rid of him somehow. They create this witch thing, and
And the whole family's in on it.
yeah.
The whole family's in on it. Like voices coming from.
Then he
out
goes to
here.
work, and they're all like, "Isn't Dad dumb?
Yeah. Right.
Fucking hate him."
Yeah. We're killing him. It's sick.
Hey, Mom, give him like 4 drops tonight. I want him to die tomorrow.
Yeah. Yo, let's do the thing where like 2 of us are like,
Yeah.
one of us is behind the fireplace, the
Yeah.
other's like outside,
Yeah.
and like we have him like responding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I
And then get Peter from down the street, and he could shit in his shoes. Double whammy when he
yeah,
wakes up.
Right. And he's like, shit in the shoes again, blasted witch. I mean, yeah.
Shakes his fist
Yeah.
at the sky.
This witch. So let's do this first too. Let's. I'm gonna be the guy that's doing this.
Okay.
Guys, there's no witches aren't real. Guys, witches aren't real.
So these females with occult powers, they can't fly on brooms, and
No, that doesn't exist.
it doesn't
Is
exist.
what I'm saying.
So
Like, that's-
what about the ones that I've seen personally?
flying?
Yeah.
You were probably on like mushrooms or something,
Yes.
or gummies or some shit. Something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that.
That's not real.
No,
Okay.
that's not real. So yeah, it's real. They just hit another home run off there. It's okay.
It's early. It's early.
Yeah. So
We could ask the Bell Witch for some help.
right. So here's what I want to talk about before we go into the caves and we go into the paranormal activity and all this stuff.
We're done with the game.
Well, I'm gonna go into the caves. Right. So okay, guys. So witches burned at the stake. No. They were hanged. All this stuff.
In the United States.
In the United States.
In the colonies.
Yeah, the colonies, yeah. But that's the most popular trope that people believe in. And they just don't realize.
So people weren't digging through the ditches and burning through the witches?
No, that happened.
Really?
Yeah, I watched all the House of a Thousand Corpses movies, yeah.
Want to just turn this into a Rob Zombie hate episode?
Oh, I would
instead?
love that.
Do you want to make it an episode for that?
Maybe that'll be our next one.
There's a certain guest that would want to be on this for that.
Sam Heimer?
Yeah. And we just trash
Sam-
him for 90 minutes.
Sam! Haven't talked about Sam in a while.
If he's listening, he's probably inking something right now.
Yeah. And it's probably like in the background there's like fuck Ken. Like somewhere hidden deep in the detail. Because Sam, you see his artwork, it's detailed.
Sure is.
Back there somewhere in a lining,
Yeah.
it's like me getting like pummeled by like
That'd
the
be kinda
Bell Witch
cool.
or something. It would be cool, Sam. But so anyway, what I was saying was, look, the witch thing, that was all, finger pointing.
So she's
and-
kind of like a living dead girl.
Yeah. Yep. Oh gosh, White Zombie.
What are you thinking about? Sorry.
But no, it's fine.
Derailed.
But anyway, so my point I was trying to get to work up to this. The witch thing's fake. People that believe in it are they're trying to work off some kind of esoteric kind of.
What about that spell she would use? The Thunder Kiss 65?
It's a good spell. But once you use the word witch, going back to what I was saying with people's beliefs, their believies, and what they think and know,
Yeah.
the cattle that is mankind. Once you say something like witch, especially in those days,
Yeah.
it was just easy. It was easy to like.
Oh, it's a scapegoat.
Yeah.
It's a cultural scapegoat.
But it was easy to get the hysterics going, and like easier even still to have your little kids.
There was no TV back then. They needed shit to do.
Yeah. There was no radio back then. They
Yeah.
needed shit to do. So like, the Bell Witch, literally, I feel, was a woman in a town fed up with a man who had some money. The woman devised a plan.
You don't think it was the wife?
I'm saying the wife.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm saying the community hated him.
Yeah.
He had some money. The wife was like, I gotta get rid of this guy, and I could, get a little cashish in the run.
Whoa.
Convince the kids to play this prank on Daddy. We'll do these little voices, make him go nuts. Get the town involved.
Yeah.
Right? Make it like a carnival. We can have some fun while
Wow.
killing Daddy.
Wow. So they were just out for it. They were just out for blood.
Well, the kids didn't know better because they're fucking dumb kids. Because kids are dumb.
kids are scared of the park.
Yeah. Kids are scared of the dark. You're
Yes.
scared of the dark too, Marv.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, so, especially in this time with the spiritualism taking off, all this kind of stuff, the wife is like, "Yo, I got it.
It just comes out.
Yeah,
I got it.
I got this. Hey, whatever, Bell kid, come here.
Yeah.
Start saying this behind when Daddy's shaving. Start saying this
Yeah.
in the other room. Comes out, pretend you're not. All the other kids, and he's like, "What? There's no vents."
So it was just mental terrorism.
Yeah,
from
it
day
was
one.
mental terrorism, literally the whole time. It was mental terrorism brought upon by his wife,
Right.
and he was too dumb or too proud, even to be like, "I couldn't be swindled by a woman and children." No.
A lot of speculation on our parts this week.
What else is there? Everyone else has talked about this story to exhaustion, and they all do there's some spooky stuff involved. No, there's not. The spooky stuff involved, with the cave. I was getting to this, the cave.
Okay.
there is some stuff going on in there, and it's probably John's ghost pissed the fuck off.
Yeah.
That he was systematically murdered by his family.
He just, no one can actually hear him. His ghost is just there, like screaming, "They poisoned me!
Yeah.
It's no witch."
Ghosts can't write notes.
Yeah.
Fix me up real good. They did.
Wow.
Seriously. I mean, think about this. And look.
Sounds like John had a little dirt in the skirt.
Oh, John had plenty of dirt in the skirt. John was probably putting dirt in skirts. You know he was.
I got it.
Of the ween variety. You know what I'm saying? Ween dirt in skirts? Is that...
I got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
So...
How does Andrew Jackson figure into all this?
He got caught up in the sensationalism. He was like, oh my god, everyone's talking about this.
Yeah.
I'm the president.
He was a crazy person.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He wasn't the president yet, though. This is before he was
Okay,
president.
before that, yeah.
In his wild days.
Yeah.
His presidency
'cause
was not his wild
him and all
days.
his boys were drinking.
Yeah.
And they were like, you want to fucking see this fucking ghost, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to go fucking see a witch?
Yeah.
We'll sleep on the couch. We'll be in the house. They'll let
Do you
us
know he
in.
was shot over 20 times? And they said when he walked around, he like jingled like a bag of change.
You've told me that before.
That's...
Yeah?
What is that?
What do you mean, what is that?
People were different back then.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
You don't have anxiety fucking getting the mail back then.
Everyone has anxiety getting the mail. You don't want that one letter that's like just ruins your entire month.
We do now, but guess who didn't?
Yeah.
People like Andrew Jackson.
Back then you just lit it on fire. I didn't
yeah.
get a letter.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
There was no correspondence.
You'll have to send it again.
Did I respond? They're like, did I send a letter back?
It's true.
And they go, no, and you're like, all right, well, then there's no correspondence.
True.
There's something wrong with your system.
Well, I think you can hear from the tone in our voices that this legend, and I'll say legend, is it's a lot of bunk.
Yeah. Well, because they force feed you all the stories, the hearsay, and
But
it
it's
builds.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun. You know what? For me, it's not fun anymore. Because it was fun when my mom told me the priest boxing the ghost story when I was a kid. But like, as it turns out, it's just less and less fun. And then here's where the fun comes from. Zach Bagans taking one of the descendants into a cave and being like, the Bell Witch is gonna respond to your presence because you're related to John, and she still has it out for John, and she's gonna be so mad. And then they set up their newest like dynamic like light system TV thing in there.
Coming from
like,
the guy who says, "Oh no, these aren't prescription glasses. I wear these to keep demons from going in my eyes."
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with that?
Also fake.
Tomato. But seriously, any of these Bell Witch stories, like, it's not, it's
I got
not,
nothing, man. I mean, the most of the story can be summed up like we just did, and I think it's just, I think it's just a bunch of fun stories people decided to add on to because it was like, oh, look at this great story we have here in Tennessee. Come visit the. And it just became a fun local legend. When there's something like that that's popular back then, when there's not much going on, they're like, "Oh, I want to be a part of it." The Bell Witch, stole my laundry.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Yeah, the Bell Witch gave me a wedgie. It was nuts.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do when it happened.
Yeah.
And that's just you hit the nail on the head in the beginning. When these stories are more telling about the people of the times than they are of the story itself. Because, dude, like.
Because they're sitting there and people are like, "Oh, did you hear about the Bell Witch?" And the guy who's got nothing, he's like, "Oh, you want to know about the Bell Witch? I'll tell you." And they just came up with whatever. It's like she, raped my chickens or whatever, and like,
Yeah. I have 4...
And they were like, "Really? Which one?" And he was like, "That one."
Yeah.
I'm like, can we buy this from you?
Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle the chicken.
Kyle the chicken.
And they're like, yeah. And then the next week, they're like, that worked well. They're like, oh no,
She did it again.
2 of my sheeps,
Yeah.
finger blasted.
Yep.
Danny
she's
and
finger blasted,
Danny
man.
and Brad, finger blasted my sheeps.
It's terrible.
But rumor has it, I heard this.
Did you go for the one, or do you think like the French
Oh
flipper
no,
style?
yeah, it was the 2. It was
Yeah,
the
okay.
2, the
All right.
classic,
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But they're like, You know, it's like that was like the telling of the time. It's like, you know, like, oh, if you kill these sheep that were finger blasted by the Bell Witch,
Yeah.
you get $1,000.
Wow.
You know?
I'm more interested. The best part of the story to me is this strange dog creature with the rabbit head. That's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
Legitimately, out of this entire story,
Yeah.
that's the scariest thing to me. Imagine you're
Yeah.
outside. It's the size of a dog.
Yes.
Let's say like a big sized dog, and it has a rabbit head that's big on it, and it just walks up.
Right. Well, that actually is a biblical thing, which with you know, the what's the word I'm looking for? The mixed up creatures that are apparently
Chimera?
demonic. Chimera. Yeah. That has a, like, and someone saying they see that,
Yeah.
to me that's like, all right, they're trying to pull from what they know of
Pull it out of their ass.
like,
I like it.
lore. Yeah, they're trying to pull some kind of lore where it's like, yeah, that's crazy. I'm
Yeah.
the same way. It's like, yeah, that sounds nuts, but it's
Yeah.
like we're just looking at, you know, kind of more.
Tell you what.
Lore.
Tell you what, Woodland Avenue Beverage makes very strong boozy slushies because I'm sauced.
I can tell you're like way back.
It's horrible. It's good, but it's horrible.
It's horrible. Why is it horrible?
I don't know how this is. I don't know how this episode's gonna sound. This is another.
fine.
This is another drunk episode. I think.
It's cursed. That's fine.
Cursed. Is this a cursed one?
I don't think it's cursed.
We're
It-
talking about finger banging sheep. This is a cursed episode.
Here's the deal. The deal is that, like, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the point where Jay is drunker than me.
Yeah.
I don't think this ever has happened.
No.
So at this point,
yeah.
I don't think it's a cursed episode. I'm gonna say this is a blessed episode.
Ooh, that's kind of fun.
This is a blessed episode.
Yeah.
And also, I'm taking the lead on a I don't believe something episode. Like, Jay's usually he's our, you know, Egon. You know?
I already said I don't believe it.
I know, but I'm saying, like, I get to be Egon this time.
Oh, okay. Well,
I get to be Egon.
to be honest, buddy, I don't know what else there is to say about this fucking case.
There's nothing besides the fact that the real tragedy here is what happened to John Bell.
Okay, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And also, if there's any hauntings at the cave or on the property, it's John Bell.
Okay. All right. I agree. I'm trying not to say Blair Witch every time I say Bell Witch.
Look, the Blair Witch is a masterpiece.
It is.
Way better story than the Bell Witch.
Well, it's yeah.
Yeah, no, don't well it. Yes,
No, I'm like, well, it's way simpler.
it's a better story.
It is a better story. I'm not disagreeing with you. You enjoy that Slurpee?
I finished it. I want another, but we're not going.
No.
Jay's done.
No.
So, all right. These times, with these different stories, you want to believe because there's so much hearsay. There's so much. But this person said this and this and that. This has been documented. Nah.
No. Nothing's really been documented other than that these people had these names and they lived in this house.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
So.
And then everyone hops on board and goes, yeah.
Yeah.
This happened there.
So I guess the only thing left to do is to bring out the old. Haven't brought it out in a bit. The
Chum bucket?
the chum bucket.
Yeah, the Bell Witch is prime for Chum bucket.
But I respect it because it like brings about this like local legend and it makes the area seem spooky.
Right. Well, it's
Like I kind of like that.
it's the Headless Horseman. It's Sleepy Hollow. It's that kind of like.
Oh, he's real.
Okay. But it's that kind of vibe.
Yes, 100%.
It's that vibe.
It's entwined with the area
Yeah.
itself.
And people go and they still go, oh, this is where this happened.
Yeah.
Where
So like, oh, here's the bridge, and it's like there's a sign there. And it's like that's not.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
it doesn't have merit. It has hearsay, and it it lends itself to a tourist trap, and
Well, it's what it is, man.
It is what it is.
It's a piece. It's a slice, even of Americana. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a slice of Americana.
Yeah.
And the sad point is, it's like so much of this Americana ghost story stuff is just bullshit. And look, guys, I'm sorry. I know I've been told a bunch of times, like, I thought listening to you or talking to you, I was gonna, get more proof in the supernatural.
Who said that?
A couple people have been like,
Why would we be bringing proof of the supernatural? We're not going out hunting
Well,
ghosts.
because that's what they think. They think that if you're
There's
talking,
more dudes that work at your fucking...
no,
Okay.
it's just other people. No. Well, what I'm saying is, that's not what the nature of this thing is. Me and Jay, we as much as we love it,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets our juices flowing.
does it ever.
In reality, most of it's fake, and we can't sit here and be like, yeah, of course.
We turn into Kermit the Frog.
Mm-hmm. We're like, the Bell Witch is no.
When Zach Bacon's...
Yeah. Well, that's also our boy Josh Gates.
Josh Gates... What was
I'm
it?
investigating.
No, Josh Gates is a combination. If you took Kermit,
Kerms,
Piggy, and Fonzie and put them together, you get Josh Gates.
a little bit of Indiana Jones too.
No.
Give him a little bit.
No, he's just dressed up in a costume.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
No. Those three characters. That's Josh Gates.
All right.
Not the Muppet Babies version.
What do you have against the Muppet Babies?
Nothing. That's just not his vibe. Maybe he was those three characters from Muppet Babies when he was a kid,
Yeah.
but now he's the adult versions.
Right.
He brings that Fozzie vibe most of the time. Then when he gets serious, he's like, we appeared at the pyramid. And
Yeah.
it's like, all right, he's like on the scene. And then,
Yeah.
then sometimes he wows out on the locals, which is, it's kind of a weird thing with him.
Yeah.
He wows out on locals a lot. That's when he channels his inner Miss Piggy.
Yeah. He also.
If I ever meet him, I'm going to tell him this.
Yeah. He also investigated that it's that weird museum that was in Asbury Park.
Why do you keep bringing this up? The Paranormal Museum that's not there anymore?
Yeah, well,
or it is, or sometimes
yeah,
it's open.
who knows?
It's
Who
run
knows?
by this fucking hack.
Yeah. Well, all right. So, Jay,
Yeah.
Bell Witch,
Yep.
fake, right?
The story itself, yeah, but it's been made real by all the people that have added to it and the supporting, over a century.
So we're dealing with a tulpa here.
No, it's as real as any other fictional story. Is Spider-Man real? No, but he lives in the public consciousness.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
That'd be sick.
To have webs.
If there was like a town where Spider-Man haunted.
Be fun. Oh, a ghost Spider-Man.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Where people were like, dude, stop. Spider-Man's around. And you're like, well.
Wait a minute. Did we just conceive the greatest movie ever? The Ghostbusters have to take down Ghost Spider-Man?
My heart actually skipped a beat.
Yeah.
There at that moment.
He's shooting ectoplasm webs at them.
You know what's disappointing?
This podcast? What?
No. Because we could have told, literally, we could have just recanted, every fucking
Yeah.
podcast, the stories that they
Yeah.
put up about, and they have that air and they lean in.
Yeah. When
It's a
they do the
radio
lean in.
show,
Yeah.
and they're like, the Bell Witch is the most prolific haunting in America.
It just has a lot of stuff around it.
Yeah, and dude, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's off the backbone of spiritualism
Yep.
after the Civil War.
That's the thing. It has all these very specific things that are attached to the time that it occurred. But then if you go Gettysburg is more plausible because it's a haunted town because a battle was there.
Gettysburg is real. No.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, I know.
It's,
Yeah.
it's real.
No, that's real.
The town is there. It's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. And they're not
And the ghosts are too.
Yeah. And they're not adding a witch. The whole witch thing.
Yeah.
It's dude, a guy got poisoned, systematically poisoned by his wife. His kids didn't like him either. They put him down.
Yeah.
And they sensationalized
Always tell them
it.
do their fucking homework as soon as they get home.
Yeah.
No snack first.
Yeah.
Homework first.
And then he's like, on the weekend, is your homework done? And
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah. Let me check it. And you're
they're
like,
Yeah. But they were like, did you drink your poison, Dad?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they did this. They went behind a wall, and they're like, don't drink it, dear. You know, like that kind of shit. It's just, yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, Bell Witch Haunting, Chum Bucket.
I'll put it in as the supernatural aspects are go in the chum bucket, but
Yeah.
I just like the idea that somebody has that story. I just like
No,
it.
it's a cool story. It's a cool story, but it's not. There's
It's unsubstantiated
yeah,
nonsense.
and it falls short of actually having any kind of
Right.
witnesses to anything that were just people that were
Yeah,
like,
no, it's just a good story.
I saw a rock fall off a roof.
Yeah.
You know, like it's silly.
Yeah, like one time this canister broke open inside of the sewer, and there were these 4 baby turtles, and the turtles crawled around the gut. Like, it's, you know, you can sit
Yeah,
here and make
it's-
stories all the
yeah,
time.
it's just-
This was in New York City.
Yeah.
Really? They're in the sewers. Have you seen them? My friend did. They like pizza.
Jay's gone.
I'm not going. I'm actually coming out of it.
Okay, good. Well, all right. So for this episode, we've I'm gonna get a closing statement in saying that most of the stuff to come out of the spiritualist era is just parlor tricks,
100%.
and that's what
People were bored.
Yeah, people were bored, and also they were
Bored.
bored, looking for something.
No, because they'd
And
settled the land.
This is well before the spiritualist movement, but also it's still the same vibe. It's still the same song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
No, man, nothing. I enjoy the story. Like, I like the whole idea of the legend. I like that there's history around the story. You know, and you don't have to prove anything. It is what it is. There's plenty of these types of stories where I'm like, you know, I don't know if I would say that any of this is real, but I enjoy the story. And I think there's a few of those that you know, but
Right. The best part of it is the boxing priest.
that's not in anything that I've ever seen. So Sharon, good job adding to the legend.
It'd be cool if that was like my mom's way of like trying to get me to be like a boxing priest. Mm-hmm. Like, my mom's like, you know who killed the Bell Witch? Who fought and won 12 rounds?
Mm-hmm.
A priest, and he boxed the Bell Witch's fucking head
Boxed
off.
the shit out of her.
But you know, they called it square, and he left.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I like the story. I used to like the story. There's been too much.
No,
It's been too sensationalized.
You have an aversion to the word witch. I've noticed. If witch is in it, you're like, dude, it's fucking real, it's crystals, and fucking. Relax. They don't mean the same thing.
Yeah, they do.
You have an aversion to anything that says witch.
Yeah.
You've proven it time and time again.
Yeah. So?
That it's not all meaning the same thing.
So?
You know, you're fucking grounded.
I'm grounded?
Yeah.
Bro, first of all,
No more baseball for you, sir.
you don't get to call that. You don't get to make that call. No, you don't. You don't. So my aversion to the word witch. Yeah, it's fake. What's up? What do you got?
The concept isn't fake, though.
Oh, the concept isn't.
God damn it, Ken.
What? Say it.
It's fine.
No, say what you're going to say.
That's it. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, there's rituals and there's people that do shit.
Yeah.
They, they go to the
They
Stonehenge.
also do that every Sunday down the street. It's the same fucking thing.
Right. It's the word. The word is what I'm talking about. And the concept.
I think
Like,
witches are
the
fun.
only real witches? There she is.
Oh, on the High
On
Life
the High
bottle?
Life bottle. Yeah, well, that one's good.
Halloween witches are fun.
Yeah, Halloween witches are fun.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
I wish those ones were real.
Yeah.
You don't think I want a fucking witch on a broom to come, like, challenge me?
Here we go.
Like it's fucking Pokemon or something?
Pokemon.
And I throw out my guy to fight her witch? Like,
Where are we
some
going right
shit?
now?
I don't know.
Twilight Zone right now.
I don't
bro.
know. What I'm saying is, I wish there was a Halloween witch that was real.
Yeah, they're not, but it's just like a leprechaun or anything else that's not real. It's a cultural creation.
Yeah,
You don't have to
exactly.
don't be angry at it.
It's fake.
Did a witch break your heart?
No.
Show me on the doll where the witch touched you.
Well, also, what I'm saying, what pisses me off too,
Broke it wide open.
is like, no, is like, you have all these like witchy. Oh, I'm witchy. Oh, I'm like.
Doesn't mean the same thing.
It's become that.
Has it?
Yeah. Where you been, dog?
I don't even involve myself with it.
Like the witch thing, like all these girls are like, oh, I'm a...
Go ahead, say Stevie next. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say
Oh.
Stevie Nicks. I wasn't. I was going to say, like, I'm a Wiccan. And even guys in it, too, like, I'm a Wiccan. It's like, what, are you? Are you?
It was created in like the 60s. You know that, right?
Yeah, but it's become more and more...
Who cares? Because that exists doesn't mean it has to reflect on the other thing.
I'm just discussing the topic as a whole.
Okay. But just because there's ridiculous aspects of a topic doesn't mean it has to reflect upon the original definition. That's all
Well,
I'm
the
saying.
original definition is being able to spell, casting a spell.
Maybe.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. You were a witch because you were able to cast spells.
Okay.
Anyway, sure. What your
So
point
are you
is.
saying that Harry Potter is demonic?
No, I'm saying Harry Potter's fun.
It is.
I'm saying all that shit's fun, but fake.
Yeah, it
And
is.
most of the people that get into quote unquote witchcraft, one, have no fucking clue what they're talking
Listen,
about.
man, this is a long conversation here. Anyone that involves themselves in anything that has any effect on the world through supernatural means is full of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And guess what? That's a fucking rising tide of people that are like, I can manipulate. I'm able
Yeah,
to.
what about people that throw magic water on stuff? Oh, you're gonna do better today because I threw magic water on you.
It's the same
fucking
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this isn't the magic water religious episode. This is the Bell Witch episode.
I know that. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Because witches aren't real.
A witch broke Ken's heart. We're gonna get to the bottom of it someday.
No, we're not.
Episode 100. We're gonna get to the bottom of Ken's witch problems.
It's just a silly thing. It's a silly thing.
It is.
I hate LARPing. For LARPing, Jay.
Okay.
Have I gone too far?
You haven't. You've bared your soul, sir.
Okay. Well, guys, all right. For this episode of Other Ninjas Podcast, I've been Ken James.
And I'm Jason McKittrick.
And as always, have a spooky evening.
Spooky. Ken loves witches.
Thank you for listening to Other Dangers Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangers Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.